will ask you, Mr. Whitlam, mainly in my capacity as a representative of radio station TUE in Sydney. You said that your book attempts to set all the events into perspective, yet your book makes no mention of a security row starting on November the 2nd, when you revealed that Doug Anthony had once let his house to a CIA agent, and culminating a week later in the famous CIA cable to ASIO, in which the Americans threatened to sever intelligence links with Australia because of your statements. Do you now dismiss security, the CIA, etc., as playing any role in the constitutional crisis? Were you adequately briefed on the operations of Pine Gap? Do you dismiss as a deception by the United States Pine Gap, not only in relation to your government, but to others past and present?
While we were in government, I believe that I was fully briefed as to the operations of Pine Gap and the other American installations in Australia. I have no reason to doubt the correctness, the fullness of the advice which was given by the public service and service heads in that regard, not only to me but to the other ministers that needed to know, such as Lance Barnard and Bill Morrison, who's here as Ministers for Defence, and Don Willisey as Foreign Minister, and Reg Bishop, who assisted us, and Lionel Bowen, who accompanied me to Europe and to Choggum. I believe that we were fully and accurately briefed. I stated publicly what I thought were the situations at that time, in accordance with the proper discretion which I believe has to be shown in those matters. Now, I don't deny, I don't altogether discount that there were people in the intelligence community in the United States or in Australia that would have been happier with another government. But they did not represent the view of their administrations. It's probably known, and I don't think there's any secret about it, and I can deal with these matters in the book on our government, which will come out in September, October next year. Also from the Penguin House, Alan Lane, with one of the early things in this regard. You probably know that one of the person who was the head of the undisclosed overseas security organisation that Australia operates was early detected in continuing, against my wishes, operations on behalf of the Americans in destabilising the Allende regime. And I had to be firm with him, and we told the Americans we wanted them to make other arrangements, and they did very promptly. And then later, on Timor, of course, it's known that he went on a gamble of his own and misled the department and the minister. But you mentioned Pine Gap. Now, I never mentioned the name of the American operative there. Dick Hall says that I revealed the name. I didn't. It was Doug Anthony who revealed the name, and he persisted in pursuing that issue. It's possible, it's quite possible, that the security people were anxious to preserve their own WASP network between America and Australia. But that cable that was sent, that quite impertinent and improper cable that was sent from the United States, was immediately brought to my notice. The head of ASIO brought it to me. Now, you can't ask better than that. A very competent, loyal public servant and patriotic Australian. So there might have been moves such as that. And it's true enough that Sir John Kerr, ever since the Second World War, had been fascinated by spooks and the like. But I'm not prepared. I wasn't prepared to pursue that issue because I could say nothing fresh on it and I couldn't authenticate it. I'd be quite foolish to say that it's impossible, but I'm not prepared to assert that it took place, and I think the probability is that Sir John Kerr's action was the culmination of action which he and his confederates, most of whom I've mentioned already today, had concerted in a totally indigenous context.